Oh, good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Back for another study session, 1 week later. Let me just take a look at the Twitch, make sure it looks like we're live. And yeah, thank you very much for joining today, whether you're catching this live or after the fact. I appreciate it. So, last week I completed the. Whoops. Yeah, so last week I completed the 28 days of poker study, and on that final day I had talked about actually starting a new course called Crack the Code, Free Yourself from Procrastination by Dr. Tricia Cardner. And I actually went through, you can see 100% I completed the course and everything. Well, one big part of your poker studies, not a big part, everybody who decides to, there's plenty of poker courses out there. This one from Dr. Patricia Cardner, Split Suit has some. I'm going to come out with my own poker course pretty soon. Well, when you purchase a poker course, it's really important that you actually finish it. We've all bought courses, we've bought webinars, we've purchased books and only read, the first few chapters of them. When you actually commit to something, I shouldn't say that, when you actually put out money for something and you think, hey, this is a good idea, I should read it, I should consume it, I should watch it, I should do it, whatever it is, and you actually commit by paying for it, you should 100% mentally commit to completing that thing, whatever it is, and get the most out of it that you can. And so that's what I wanted to demonstrate, kind of what I did over the past week with this Crack the Code, Free Yourself from Procrastination. It has 50 parts to it, like 53 parts to it, and it is pretty quick and easy to finish. And I got a ton out of it. I'm so glad I finished this course. Because I've done it in the past, like I just mentioned, started a course and then ended up just getting nowhere with it, getting 1/3, 1/4 of the way in, and then for whatever reason, bumming out on it, But so this course right here, let me show you some stuff. With this course, we went and looked through the course last week. I'm not going to do that again. So when you enter the course, there's this achievements in progress tab. It had 53 items on it, and as I completed each item, it gave me 1 out of 53, 2 out of 53, 3 out of 53. The number kept going up. So it actually kind of feels good as you're taking a course like this. The way it's set up on Thinkific is the name of the course, I believe. The way it's set up here, it's a great course. It really propels you to keep going because it keeps giving you these achievements. It's like getting little achievements on your smartphone games and stuff, It's just a way to keep you motivated, to keep you working. So that's one of the things I really liked about this course, other than just basically what was in the course. Now, if you're a procrastinator, I really recommend this course. I completed the course yesterday, but each day leading up to it, I was getting more things done. I used an unschedule, which is something that she talks about here. You fill in your unschedule with work projects. I used an unschedule, and it kind of propelled me and motivated me to work more. I thought through my goals. I thought about all the different things that was holding me back from doing the work when I knew I should. Why was I procrastinating for 1, 2, or 3 days? All that kind of stuff. So I started to work just as I should. Started to procrastinate a lot less. This course is amazing. If procrastination is one of your issues, please do it. And then real quick, at this peakpokermindset.com, she does have 2 other free courses: Rev Up Your Poker Success, totally free, and Peak Poker Performance book bonus materials course. I haven't finished the book, so I'm going to finish this course once I'm done with the book. I'm 1/3 of the way through with the book right now. But yeah, definitely do this one, see if you like it, and if procrastination is an issue, hit this course for sure. But let's take a look here. So this is how the course goes. There are 4 different sections, and each one has different lessons contained within. So what is procrastination? What we'll do is we'll just watch this one video. It's only 4 minutes and 48 seconds, but I'll show you as we're watching it. I'll show you the kinds of notes that I take. There we go. I think that should be good. Okay. So as I'm, like you can see in this document, there's 6,000 words in the document. I watched every part of it and I just took notes. You can see right here, this is a screenshot because I didn't want to type in all of those notes or all of those words and stuff. But I type in what I think, things that I should take away from the video, and then I screenshot some important stuff that doesn't require me typing.
Welcome to the next lesson called What is Procrastination? I'm your host, Dr. Tricia Cardner, and I'm going to be going over a point-by-point explanation of what exactly is procrastination.
Yeah, this video really helped me just understand why I procrastinate.
The first thing you need to understand is that procrastination is defined by the intention-action gap. That is, we intend to do something, but then we either put it off or we just never get around to doing it. Yep. Another thing you need to recognize is that all procrastination is delay, but not all delay is procrastination. An illness might come up, or you might have to travel for work or something like that, and that will necessitate that you change your schedule. Sometimes we even have to reprioritize because something more important comes up. But a general definition is that procrastination is the voluntary delay of an intended action despite the knowledge that this delay may harm us in terms of our task performance, and it often makes us feel bad about ourselves. That definition comes from Dr. Tim Pitchell, who is one of the leading researchers on procrastination.
She quotes
and I really
Dr. Tim
like
Pitchell
the way
a lot in this.
He unpacks procrastination, not just in terms of
course.
the task
he knows or stuff,
lack of doing the task, but also in terms of how it makes us feel about ourselves. And I'm going to have a lot more to say about that
and if you want,
later on in the course.
You can change the
but
speed
for now,
just
I
like
just
in a
want
YouTube
you to
video
think
as
about
well.
this gap between the intended action and then what you actually end up doing. Now, I've already mentioned it, but it's so important that I want to go over it again. Procrastination is a needless voluntary delay. We are voluntarily turning away from our own goals and tasks and projects, and really it's due to our own reluctance to act. There is really no other reason. Let's think about why this would be. We know from our research that most procrastination is actually a habit. And like all habits, it's an internalized and non-conscious process, which means that when we are faced with a task or a project that we feel uncomfortable with or uncertain about, we will generally take the path of least resistance. That's how habits work.
You know, for me,
we don't even have to think about them.
For me,
we just automatically
just learning that procrastination is a habit, it never occurred to me. I just thought, hey, I'm a procrastinator. I do things last minute, and it works for me. I didn't realize it as a habit, and I didn't realize that I could change that.
Practice. All it really takes is right actions over and over again. You may have heard along the way that it takes 21 days to create a new habit, and that's not really true. Current scientific research indicates that a very simple habit takes about 66 days to ingrain itself, and a more complex habit could take as long as a year or more to get ingrained. So in order to turn a habit around, it definitely takes some conscious, deliberate practice. One of the things that we are going to use is
lots of conscious practice trying to get out of my
I'm going to have a lot more to say about this in
procrastination.
another lesson, but just as a preview, we can use pre-decisions to act when we intend to act. We can use them to deal with distractions, and we can use them to cope with the inevitable setbacks and disappointments.
She talks about all that stuff later on.
We're trying to make some changes
within the
You've
course.
already taken the first step to reduce your procrastination by becoming more aware of your own patterns. And you did that when you did the exercise in the introductory lesson where you started noticing when you procrastinate.
That was actually a very important thing when I did this this exercise. So each course has a take action, or each lesson has a take action part. When and how do you procrastinate? And just make a list of all the times you find yourself procrastinating. Starting to make the list kind of gives you a very good
what we can do in a day.
Starting to make that kind of a list just opens up your eyes to how often and why you're procrastinating, because it's something I never gave much thought to. I just realized, hey, I'm a procrastinator, no big deal, I'll get it done later. And there is a better way to do it, and this course was spectacular for teaching me that. So one of the things, so she's at the end, like I said, at the end of every lesson, there's a take action part. And this one, at any time, we have many choices about what to do. Start thinking about your goals. What is the most important to you? Take the time to list out your most important goals. What can you do today to make a little progress towards each? So what I do when it comes to this, I take a screenshot of the take action prompt. I paste it here, and then I list my things. Do a new podcast every week by Wednesday. And this week I had failed. But I'm done today. I'll release it today. Next week, I have a plan to get it done every Wednesday from now on. Create my first online course is a big goal, and finish my next book in a reasonable time frame. Now, these aren't like set SMART goals that I normally make. I put these goals here to answer the question. If I made this an actual SMART goal, it would be create my first online course called How to Study Poker by a specific date with 25 videos included, whatever it ends up being. I would make a more specific goal. Finish my next book, How to Study Poker Volume 2 by, July 15th for release on August 5th or whatever. I would make a more specific goal when it's time to actually creating goals. But these are my most important future far-reaching goals right now. And then what can you do today to make a little progress? Create a schedule, create deadlines, develop the habit of getting shit done as opposed to keeping my habit of procrastination, So that's that's how I do it.
So it's
from
important
lesson
to start
by
thinking
lesson.
about your goals and what's the most.
That's how I go, just lesson by lesson here. As it plays, I'm just taking notes, and at the end, I take the time to do it. So some of these lessons, like this lesson is only 4 minutes and 40 seconds or so, and it probably took me because I pause, I type stuff out, screenshot, paste it and everything, and then answer the questions. It probably took me my guess is if it took maybe 10, 15 minutes for one lesson as I'm thinking through and putting my answers, So when there's 17 lessons total, I think, 50 small parts, but 17 lessons, the whole thing took 2 hours to get through the whole lesson. Or no, actually, no, I'm sorry, 3 hours because I did it in 3 days. Completed, crack the code, free yourself. Oh yes, because I completed the entire thing at the end of that video. It just showed that right there. So you could see I have check marks on everything. It went through it all. Let me show you my notes real quick. Oops. So you can see on the navigation pane, I give everything nice big headers and stuff, so it's easy to just go bam, bam, bam and find it here. But yeah, 6,000 words I've taken of notes for this course right here. And I really recommend, if you suffer from procrastination, I really recommend that you take this course here. Just go to peakpokermindset.com. Some really good stuff in it, really good. And then the way she explains everything, it's easy to understand. You learn why you need to, or why you should not procrastinate anymore, how to not procrastinate, the mindset issues, the personality issues that might be leading to procrastination, all the different steps, the different ways that you can not procrastinate or help yourself to not procrastinate, Let's see here. So that's all this stuff. At the end of every week of study, like I've said before, I create a one sheet. And the one sheet is just all the most important stuff for my entire week of study on one piece of paper, the stuff that I want to take with me into the future. If I want to review procrastination a year from now, I go back to this one sheet. I could go back to everything, of course, and I will always have access to this course, but I just hit the one sheet, Procrastination is a learned habit but can be unlearned. Procrastination is a needless voluntary delay and a self-defeating habit, for sure it is. One reason we procrastinate, well, we all have a hedonistic prerogative, so we have a need for immediate gratification, and we want to feel good now. That's one reason why we procrastinate. So when we have a big task ahead of us, instead of doing that challenging big task, we play a game on our iPhone or something to get a quick feel good, Why procrastinate? To feel good in the short term? We mistakenly believe we'll feel like doing it later, and that's too true. That's how I feel for sure. And we can avoid the things that make us feel bad. Talking about motivation, there's a motivation equation she gives right here. Expectancy times value divided by impulsivity plus delay. Big lesson learned. Take all of my big goals or even weekly tasks, basically the most important things to me, and break them down into smaller, quicker wins checklists. By doing this, I will feel more satisfied as I'm going through and knocking out all the small things on my way on the way to my one thing. And then so that's what I did right here, for example. So you can see this is my podcast small wins task list. instead of having my podcast each week, which takes between 6 to 8 hours of just, it's basically one thing on my task, on my like to-do list, right? I want to get this one thing done, but it takes 6 to 8 hours total. So what I did to try to trick myself, to give myself small goals to attain, is I broke it up into 16 different, I guess 18 with that, 18 different things that as I do them, I'll just check them off. So it's kind of like I'm hijacking, or what's the word, hacking the system here, and I'm turning my one big task into 17 smaller tasks, and I feel good every time I check one off. And so that's what I did this week, and I whipped out the podcast yesterday. I'm going to make it live today, but I whipped it out yesterday by doing that. So it worked out really well for me. My new mantra is just get started with anything I have to do. The key is to get started. Once you get the ball rolling, even for 5 minutes, you're just going to naturally continue doing it. And then I create a 5-question quiz for myself at the end of every week of study as well. What is procrastination, and can you overcome it? There's my answer. What is the motivation equation? There's my answer. And then, little bit extra bullet right there. What are some steps you can take to avoid procrastination? Those are some things that I can do. What are implementation intentions? Well, they're if and then statements. For example, if I reach for my phone instead of doing my task, then I'll force myself to put it in airplane mode instead of playing that game. It's kind of like logic statements for possibly, or for helping to avoid tilt at the poker tables. These if-then statements help you to ahead of time plan about what you'll do to avoid procrastination. And what is your new motto? Just get started, for sure. Yeah, so that's it right there. I highly recommend to everybody 2 different things. Finish your course. If you bought a webinar last year from me or from Alex Fitzgerald or whatever, go back and finish it and take proper notes while you're doing it. So 3 things. Finish your courses, take proper notes, and then the third thing is, if you suffer from procrastination, go to peakpokermindset.com. Do yourself this favor. Do yourself that favor, and at a minimum, if you don't want to purchase the $47 course, whatever, at least do the Rev Up Your Poker Success course. You're going to find so much benefit from this free course, and if you've read the book, go through that course as well. Do these 2 free courses and then decide, hey, I like this process. Dr. Cardner knows what she's talking about. I'll probably get a lot from this course. And if that's your decision, purchase it and finish it as well. It only took me 4 study sessions at right around an hour per session. So it was about 4 hours total to complete that course right there. It's totally worth it. Trebledge, hey, hi, how's it going? Good to see ya. Hello. All right. Yep, so thank you for joining very much. I'm talking about the Crack the Code Free Yourself from Procrastination course by Dr. Tricia Cardner here at Trebledge. Really good stuff. I highly recommend that all of you check it out, peakpokermindset.com. I've already emailed, electronically spoken to Dr. Cardner, and I'm going to have her on the podcast to do just to do a regular, chat, a conversation with her about this course, about all their courses, and about her books as well, because they're full of good stuff. And Peak Poker Performance, at first I thought, oh, this is probably another book like Jared Tendler's The Mental Game of Poker. But then once you get into it and start reading it, it's completely different. Mental Game of Poker is about avoiding anger, avoiding rising emotions, and avoiding tilt. This book is more like just an overall mindset to gaining peak poker performance. So I highly recommend the book. Everything that she does, I recommend. And she's got a new podcast as well with Gareth, what's his name? I don't really know his name. But yeah, she's got a new podcast out there. She was on the Mindset Advantage podcast as well. So she knows her stuff. Get into it, and start learning. And the biggest thing, though, is any course, any webinar, any book that you purchase, please finish it. Get the most out of it you can. You spent your money. You knew it was a good idea when you purchased it. Go ahead and do it. Yep. Alrighty. So thanks for joining Trebledge, but I'm out of here for the day. It was just a quick, simple study session to show you how you should or why you should go through an entire course. And don't give up, because I really feel that my procrastination, it's kind of like, my guess is it's kind of like tilt. Like, once you learn about tilt, you can better control it. You can avoid it more often. You can stay in your A game more often. Well, procrastination is probably like that. I'll probably always be a procrastinator, at least a little bit, because I've literally been procrastinating for I don't know how long, ever since I was in high school. Having a big paper due on Monday, I'll be up late Sunday night getting it done. Having big assignments due in college, I was up one or two nights the night before getting it done. And then so I've been doing it for who knows, at least 20, 25 years procrastinating. So it's going to be a hard habit to break. So I'm sure it's always going to be in there. But as long as I remain vigilant, just like with avoiding tilt and avoiding anger, I should be able to get beyond it, and it should be a smaller part of my life, that dang procrastination. Alrighty, well then, that is it for today. Thank you all very much, and I'll be back later on with a poker play session today or Saturday. Alrighty, take care. Bye. See you, Treblage.